Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So today is day 7 of the Dungeon Feast event and we now have the ingredients needed to make 41 recipes in total. So I'm going to quickly show you the recipes that we've already covered in the previous videos, which are 1 through 10 and then 11 through 20. And now today we're going to go ahead and carry on from where we left off in the previous video, and we're going to begin with recipe number 23 because this uses 2 magic powders, and so we didn't craft it in the previous video, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So 2 magic powders and then any random final ingredient. That is what we're going to begin with today. And now a tip about your seasonings. We will want to feed, of course, all of our seasonings in the dishes to our squad. However, there's actually a strategy you can use to get more value from these seasonings, which we're going to talk about. So actually for these earlier items, I'm not going to be using the seasonings on them. And you guys can do the same. So we have a random ingredient number 3, 2 magic powders. So this is going to make the arcane milfoil. And again, big credit to Pedia for compiling this really nice list to show us exactly what we need to be cooking up. So next up is going to be like a chocolate bar. There's going to be 1 bug meat, 1 fruit, and then 1 of the magic powder. Again, we're not going to use our seasonings yet. Just wait a couple more recipes in. We're going to start using our seasonings and you guys are going to understand why. So there's a beetle night bar. That is a new recipe for us. So we already cooked up number 29 in the previous video, so we're going to move right on to number 30. So number 30 will have 2 of this new material, which is going to be this elemental crystal, so 2 of them, and then 1 random ingredient. Let's just go ahead and throw in a fish there, and now we're going to begin using our seasonings. The reason for this is the first recipe that is going to cook up an epic, basically rarity of an item. And so when you serve this item, we're going to show it right now. When you serve this item, you're going to get bonus stats, increase HP level by 6 and magic defense level by 6 rather than just 2. So if you are feeding an epic, or basically creating an epic item, that is when you want to use your seasonings for right now, because it's the highest rarity item and it's going to 3 times, basically 3x the number of levels you should be gaining for your squad stats. So we're going to be gaining 3 times 2 for even just the single set of seasoning. So we're going to move on to 31. 31 is not going to be an epic basically item, so we're not going to use our seasonings. This is going to be 1 elemental crystal, 1 ice ball, and 1 steam engine. So 1 elemental crystal, 1 ice ball, and 1 steam engine. We're not going to season it because this is just a standard rare item, and the rare items I think will only 2x basically your seasonings in terms of squad levels. Okay, next up is going to be a pancake. This is going to be an epic item. So 1 elemental crystal, 1 steam engine, 1 magic powder, which we have plenty, and we're going to use both of our seasonings right now. And so by the way, if you're wondering where did we get all of these ingredients from, these ingredients are going to be gotten by clearing just the regular adventure stages, which if you've been following my guides up until this point, you're easily going to be strong enough in terms of squad stats to clear all of these stages on today, basically all the way from 5-1 all the way to 5-10, doing your basically that's all you have to do. You're going to be getting all of these ingredients. I didn't even use any of the resource stages or anything like that. So you're going to be all good to go. Okay, next item is going to be 1 beast meat, 1 magic powder, 1 elemental crystal. And that is going to be a new recipe. We're going to use both of our seasonings because this is also going to be an epic item. This epic item is going to be a victory roast. We're going to go ahead and serve that. And now the remaining items, which we're going to add to our recipe basically book, those items are not going to be any epic. They're just going to be rare, basically rarity. And so I'm not going to be using my seasonings on them. We're just going to come back and make some more epic items for our seasonings later on. So we're just going to keep going through the recipe. So the next one is like kind of this fruit bowl. There's an elemental crystal, ice ball, and a magic powder. So we're going to do that one. This is going to make a new recipe, not using our seasonings. So luminous frappe, that's what we have there. The next up, bug meat, magic powder, and elemental crystal. So magic powder and bug meat, elemental crystal. And again, as always, when you're following along in this guide, if you ever get confused, you can use the prompt of what the dwarf is actually saying to you to know if you're cooking up the right thing. So for example, we're going to do egg, magic powder, elemental crystal, and now when you look at him, he says that's one way to think about it, or he says nice combination, and it doesn't show up. It shows a question mark here. That means that is a new recipe you haven't unlocked yet. So for example, if you forgot which recipes you've already completed and you're following along here, that is going to be a way you can get that done. Okay, so next up, we are now going to have an elemental crystal, a magic powder, and a slime gel. So elemental crystal, magic powder, and a slime gel. That is going to be a nice combination. New item. This kind of looks like the item from Homestead. Alchemist Gummy. It looks a lot like the item from Homestead. If you guys know, you know. So next up we have Elemental Crystal, Steam Engine, and an egg. Elemental Crystal, Steam Engine, and an egg. That is going to give us a Stormy Custard. That is a new item for us. And next up we are going to have Elemental Crystal, Steam Engine, and a Slime Gel. Elemental Crystal, Steam Engine, and a Slime Gel. And this is, by the way, this is going to be number 39 we're on right now. So just 2 more left to go. We have the 39 recipes. There's 2 more recipes that are going to be available for today. So this is going to be number 40, Ice Ball, Elemental Crystal, and the fish. And again, a big credit to Pedia for compiling this really nice list that we can just easily follow along, and it's visual, it's not like written, so that's also helpful for people who are from different languages. So we have 2 eggs, we have 1 elemental crystal, and that is going to be the final item of today. That is going to be the 41st recipe into our book, the Dragon Egg Legend. And now when we look at it, look at this, we have a full recipe. And now again, the ones you want to feed your seasonings to are going to be the epics. So the epic items are going to be the best value to feed your seasonings into, because you're going to get 3x whatever squad stats rewards you would normally be getting from all of that. So we're going to go ahead and do that just with the final 2 seasonings that we have. We're going to cook up an epic item. I'm just going to cook up these pancakes. Why not? So an elemental crystal, steam engine, and a magic powder. So there we have it. That is going to be a Stardust Souffle. This is an epic rarity of item. And we're going to go ahead and do 2 times, cook 2 of them with all of our seasonings, and then we're going to feed them all up at once. Serve up these 2. You don't have to serve up the other dishes. Those were just for recipe filling purposes. Feeding them will actually bring you no value because they won't increase your squad stats or anything. So we're not even going to bother with that. Okay, we got an unlock shattering whatever. I couldn't read what it said. So we're now at 165 squad level. However, this may not be enough, because to complete off this video, we are going to take on the challenges. And these challenges actually recommend an ability level of 175. We're at 165, which is not bad. However, we could go slightly higher. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to try to level up the things which are the lowest. Like, I just think that's a pretty good strategy. So let's go back over here to Adventure 4 and look at the resource stages that we have access to. So this is an execution one. We're pretty low on that. So we're going to go ahead and battle this execution stage just to get some execution stats. It's going to increase our overall performance. And I found that this team was working really well for me. I was using it in the previous video for a challenge as well. Like Ludovic, Damon buffing up Marcel, Lyos, and then Hugin in front of Marcel, and it can work even if you have all these heroes at 1 copy, because they're going to be boosted up to Supreme Plus, and Ludovic for the healing and just like buffing up Marcel. Definitely this is a strong option with the pack bond spell as well. So definitely there's a team I would recommend. So we're going to clear that easily. We can do maybe a couple of sweeps here. And again, we are going to do the feeding with our cooking. So we know this was one recipe that worked for us, the Stardust Souffle. So we're just going to go ahead and do 3 of the different dishes here. Oh, actually, before we do that, we can actually get another material like the physical defense, which we're also low on. We can go ahead and do this physical defense, get 3 of these as well, and then cook them all up in the same dish, because there are 2 different slots for seasoning now, as you guys know, in the dishes. So might as well just get 2 different types of seasoning, because you can't use the same seasoning more than once in a dish. So we're just going to sweep this now 2 times. And now we have plenty of resources or seasonings. So now we can have this sort of dish, and then that with the Stardust Souffle. We can do 3 times that, and then we can just go ahead and feed this. This is going to increase our ability level. We're using it on an epic item, which is the best value, because you're going to get 3x of that. And now look at this. Physical defense and execution are both going to be boosted by 18. So if you follow these tips and this strategy, you're really going to increase your ability level rapidly. Now we're over 200. We should have no issue of clearing on these final challenge stages. So challenge 5-1, we're above the recommended level. This is Mystical Berserker, and I'm just going to run the same team. This team was working really well for me. Might as well keep running it. We can even have Ludovic back here, actually. So we have the Damon, we have Hugin, Ludovic in the back, and Marcel and Laos. So let's go ahead and run this team and see how this is going to work. Okay, so Marcel is going to be the damage dealer, and even at 1 copy, it should be enough damage. We got the execution, which is going to increase our damage output, and then we have plenty of tankiness. There was like no survival issues here. So there we have it. Challenge 5-1, easily defeated. Challenge 5-2, and of course, you do not have to use this specific formation. You can use your recommended proven formations here. Like, for example, Zany is going to be really good because she's just like, the turrets can also help you tank. But this is a really nice team as well that we have here. So I'm just going to recommend this. And Pack Bomb Spell is really good for the survival as well. And just having Ludovic healing up your team from the back is really good. Buffing up Marcel as much as possible. And Mirage Frostbite actually is a little bit tough because you're going to need that healing to basically cleanse that frozen effect. But if you have a hero like Ludovic, or maybe you can add a Smokey in here as well, then you should have no problem either. So there we have it, guys. That is going to be it for the complete clear of day 7 of the event. If you have any other tips, you can feel free to share them in the comment section. But just to recap, it's really important. You want to craft and cook up those epic rarity of dishes like the starter souffle that we were crafting a lot of with your seasonings, because that's going to give 3x the value of those seasonings, and that's why we have such high ability level. Even though we have plenty of limited shroom vouchers left, we haven't even cleared that many resource stages, and you can just try to level up evenly whatever stats you're kind of lacking. That's what we basically decided to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Good luck with all of this. If you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, my link to my Discord is in the description of this video. Please join that so we can chat more. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark or favorite this link in your web browser or your mobile device, and then whenever you're making a purchase, just go to that bookmark. It will support me and is greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.